Ready for y'all, man. You know, a lot of y'all don't understand, but we're gonna go ahead and bring it out in a minute, man. We're gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out. We're gonna talk about these scriptures, right? We're gonna get it in. About to get it in a minute. For all y'all that anybody that lack any understanding, anybody that lack any understanding, you about to get some understanding because we have a problem, right? We have a problem with people thinking that this law, right? That this law is done away with no proof. So we're just gonna go through the scriptures, through the spirit, just through the spirit, and I'll be right back. Hang on one sec. One sec. One sec. All right. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh and His Son, Yahweh Shai. And we're going to start this lesson here today. We're going to be talking about faith without works is dead. So, this faith without works being dead, I'm also going to go a little bit over the law. I'm going to make this video as short as I possibly can because last video I made was a little over an hour, so I don't want to go too long. But here we go. All right. All right, let's go ahead and start right here. We're going to go to Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. All right. And it says, as it reads, but without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So we know just from that scripture that without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High without faith, right? So we have that established, right? So now what I want to go to here is Colossians. Let me get this is Colossians, right? And this is Colossians chapter 1. We're going to start at the beginning, Colossians chapter 1. Okay, yeah, Colossians 1. And then we're going to go to verse 10. Okay. All right. And the reason why I want to go to Colossians 1 and 10, and I'm going to just bring it out. It says that that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. And, you know, we know that scripture tells us that faith without works is dead. Now, this is exactly why I wanted to bring out Colossians 1 and 10 in relation to Hebrews 11 and 6, because we know that without faith, it's impossible to please him. But here in Colossians 1 and 10, it says that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work. Because in order to be fruitful, you have to work something. You have to be doing something in order for your fruit to be noticed. So a deed, something has to be done. Something has to be worked. All right. And increasing in the knowledge of God. Right. So we know that faith and works. So far, the scripture is telling us faith and works. Right. So let's go ahead and go to James chapter 1. I'm going to pull out James chapter 1. And I'm going to read a little bit in James that's going to give you a little bit more understanding of faith and works, right? So we got James chapter 1. And then we'll go start at verse 3. And it says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Okay? But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. Right? So faith and works, right? I'm not done yet, because I'm about to bring it on home again. I'm about to bring it home, because the thing is a lot of people say that the law is done away with, and the law has workings. The law has workings. Shalom, Kazakai. The law has workings, and in order for us to be to show our faith, we have to have a work. This is like the fruits. Fruits come from working of the law. Fruits come from working. Now, here we go to James, still in James, and I'm going to go ahead and jump down to chapter 2. No, I take that back. I'm going to stay in chapter 1. Stay in chapter 1. James chapter 1, and then we're going to go to verse 22. And it says, but be ye doers of the word, because, again, faith without works is dead, right? So here it says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I got faith. I got faith. You know, I'm saved by grace. Okay, well, you need to read James 1 and 22. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to go down to 25. It says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Okay, a lot of people are in deception, deceiving themselves, thinking that faith alone is going to get them somewhere, right? And verse 23, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. He's pumped up on faith, right? Verse 25, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein. So continuing in that law, right? Continuing in that law, we're going to get our perfection. Let me start again. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer. So the ones that are doing the law, you're not just hearing, you're doing. So you're not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work. Faith, work, hearer, doer, not forgetful, but a doer of the work. This man shall be blessed in his deed, right? Okay, so we're looking at something. Faith, works, deeds, law, hearers, and doers, not hearers only. I have an issue with a lot of my Christian brothers and sisters. I love y'all, but y'all are mistaken. The law is not done away with, okay? And I'm not done. I got some more for you, all right? Let's go to James chapter 2 and verse 8, and it says, if ye fulfill the royal law. I thought the law was done away, right? Law was done. James 2 and 8. But if ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, what is the law according to the scripture that y'all say is done away with? Do y'all not believe what it says in James 2 and 8? But if ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Ye do well. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to 12, and I'm going to read a little bit here from 12 down to 24. And this is James chapter 2 and verse 12. I'm going to read down to verse 24. It says, so speak ye and so do. So we're not just hearers of the word, also doers, which is confirming here in James 2 and 12. So speak ye and do so. Okay. Faith and works, right? As they that shall be judged by the law of liberty, right? For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have shown no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, food, right? What does it profit if you don't feed them and they're telling you they're hungry, right? What does it profit? Even so faith, the same way with faith, right? If it hath not works, it is dead being alone. Please, my Christians, your Sunday church going Christians, my family, the people that I love, the people that ignore these Israelites that y'all see on y'all feed every day up and down y'all timeline, y'all ignoring us because y'all think we so full of hate, but this is love right here. Listen, verse 17, James chapter 2 and verse 17, even so faith, if it hath not works, it is dead, being alone. Yet a man say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. So how are you going to show me your faith without any working of keeping his laws and his commandments? This is why spiritually deep down inside, a lot of people don't like the Israelites, because we're forcing people to understand faith and works go hand in hand, right? Verse 19, thou believest that there is no God. So if you say faith and you're not working, you don't believe in God. So says James chapter 2 and verse 19. Let me read it again. Thou believest that there is, slack it. Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So the devils also believe and tremble, right? Verse 20, but wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead, right? Faith without works is dead. Again, now let's keep going down to 24. Verse 21, was not Abraham our father justified by works? But these are the working of the law that we always tell people that the law ain't done away with, right? And I'm not done, because I'm going to show you what the Hamashiach said about the law too, all right? Was not Abraham our father justified by works, verse 21, when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Verse 22, seest thou how faith wrought with his works? Faith wrought with his works, right? Come on now. And by works was faith made perfect, right? So you can obtain perfection, but you have to have the faith in the works. That's understanding, being a hearer and the doer of the law, not hearers only, right? Verse 23, and the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness. Righteousness. So how do you obtain righteousness? By keeping the law, being a hearer and also a doer of the law of God's commandments, keeping his word, right? Let me keep reading, man. I'm going to start at 23 again. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. Verse 24, ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Not by faith only. Not by faith only. You cannot sit here and say, oh, I got faith. Well, where's your works? How are you going to get an understanding of the works if you're not a hearer and a doer? So you're telling me you hear how to do the works and you're not going to do them, right? Okay, let's go to First Peter. Let's go to First Peter chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 12. All right, let me get my 1611, because I have my 1611 here that had my highlight as far as I wanted to go here. Hebrews, James, Peter. Okay, First Peter 2 and 12. Here we go. And it says, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify God in the day of visitation. So us as believers, if we say that faith only and no works, then how are the Gentiles going to be able to actually look and see and tell what to do and know that we're righteous? This is a part of our righteousness, right? Okay, now, this is why I really wanted to bring it out. I'm going to go to where we need to go. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. Because a lot of y'all that believe in Jesus seem to omit this every time, and y'all go straight to Paul about grace every time. So let's go. Matthew chapter 5 and verse. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start at 14. Matthew chapter 5 and 14. I'm going to read down to verse 20 because there's something that I'm going to bring out with these, right? Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 to 20. It says, ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house, right? Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works. Your light, your good works. You guys don't believe in your Jesus like you say you do. You guys don't believe in Hamashiach because he's telling you this is the words of Yahweh. Do I need to show you guys the red letter that I'm looking at? This red letter here, Matthew 5:17, red letter. That's Yahweh himself speaking, right? But y'all don't believe it. So let's keep going here. All right. It says, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Verse 17, Matthew 5, verse 17. And then he says, think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. All right. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach, that means being a hearer and a doer. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So you guys are not understanding. Your righteousness has to exceed this, of the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. Now, if the scribes and the Pharisees were wicked, how did they get righteousness? They were keeping the law, right? So that means you have to keep the law, but you have to keep the law better than the scribes and the Pharisees. Otherwise, if you're teaching that you're not keeping the law, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Now, let's go to Mark 4 and 21. I'm going to try to make this short as quick as I possibly can. Mark chapter 4 and 21. And it says, and this is the light, right? Our candle, the light that we're supposed to shine. Our works is this light sit on this candle. We don't put our light and our works and hide it up under a bed, which what the Christian church is doing. They say they take their light. I don't even know if the candle is lit, but they take their light and they put it under a bed and they say, come to my church. We don't have to do works. We just got faith in Jesus Christ and his blood he shed for us. Well, where's your works? Okay. Sorry for the rant, but it was needed. Here we go. All right. This is Mark chapter 4 and verse 21. And it says, and he said to them, is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed and not to be set on a candlestick? This is our works. Are you putting your works under a candle on a candlestick under a bed? Is that what you're doing with your works, Christian church? For y'all that go to the Christian church and say the law is done away with, Matthew 5:17, Yahweh just told you, the one y'all call Jesus. He just said is the law is not done away with. All right. Now let's go ahead and sum this up. Let's go ahead and sum this up here. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read Luke chapter 11. Let's go to Luke chapter 11. And then we're going to go to verse 33. Luke chapter 11, verse 33. All right. And as it reads here. All right. This is the parable of the candle about your works, right? It says Luke chapter 11, verse 33. No man, when he hath lighted a candle, put it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. Right? The light. That's your work. That's our work that the people need to see. Right? So let's go ahead. We got Luke 11:33. Let's go to Luke chapter 16 and verse 17. All right. And as it reads, and it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail. Whosoever putteth away his what? Well, slack on that one. We know that part. But Luke chapter 16, verse 17. It's easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law. Okay. So you guys need to understand that the law is not done away. Okay. The heaven and earth will pass before any part of the law is moved away. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and read. Let's see here. Luke 16 and 17. Okay. And then we're going to go 8 and 16. Right. Did we do 8 and 16? I think we skipped 8 and 16. But we can go ahead and bring it out. All right. And it says, no man, when he lighteth the lighted candle, cover it with a vessel or put it under a bed, but set it on a candlestick, that they which may enter may see the light. Right? Because that light is our works being shown. Our works is the light. Again, working the faith. Faith without works is dead. And I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Matthew chapter 7. And I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to read down from verse 12, verse 24. And I'm going to read a little bit here. It's Matthew chapter 7 and verse 12 all the way down to 24. Here we go. It says, therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so them. For this is the law and the prophets. Now this is the one y'all call Jesus in red letter right there. Red letter. This is the law and the prophets. He didn't destroy it, right? Verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Many, right? Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So you got all these groups that coming out and they talking about, oh, we got 14 million members. Oh, we got 60 million members. Oh, I got cool. Just make sure that y'all walking that straight path, right? Now, let's go to verse 15, because this is what we're dealing with people that say that the law is done away with, and they don't go to scripture to show you that the law is done away with. They want to go into Romans, talk about grace, and talk about the curse of the law, which they don't understand which law it is. It's the law of sin and death, but we're dealing with the law of liberty here, the commandments of the Most High, his laws and commandments. Let's go. Matthew, we're going to go to verse 15. Matthew 7 and 15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing. Sheep's clothing. That soft voice. A sheep is soft. They clothe themselves. They try to look like prophets and men of the Lord. And then they bring you into their church. They stand in front of the pulpit and they tell you that this law is done away with. Right? Continue. But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. It's pretty easy to tell. You're hiding in the building, saying the law is done away. It's pretty easy to tell by those fruits, right? Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth a good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them, whether to cast them off or to let them be, right? Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter to the kingdom of heaven. Check this out. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. That means do the will of a Father. You have to work something. That's your work there. You can't just faith it to heaven. Right here, let me read it again. Not everyone that saith to me, Lord, Lord, be not hearers. Everyone that says with their mouth, right? Be not hearers. All right. Not everyone that saith to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter to the kingdom of heaven. Okay. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So we're going to say, we're going to listen, and we're going to do the will of the Father, right? So we can enter the kingdom. Now, verse 22, many will say unto me that day, Lord, Lord, have I not prophesied in thy name? And then thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Right? So this is the thing, man. A lot of people that are saying that, that faith is enough to get you into heaven. It's not. You have to have faith with your words. Okay? You have to have faith with your words, right? It's not going to happen by you just saying faith. And if you guys have anything else to say about it, just watch the video and and go over the scriptures that I brought out. So with that being said, I want to say Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. All praises to Hamashiach. All praises to Yahweh and his son Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and to the 12 tribes of Israel. With that, I want to say Shalom, Barakatah. Peace.